16 years. Look, it's good that everyone's able to stay calm about the situation. No one's gone OTT about it. People haven't got dressed up and got a tambourine and started saying things like "mad for it, mad for." Yourself back together after 16 years. Look, it's good that everyone's able to stay calm about the situation. No one's gone OTT about it. People haven't got dressed up and got a tambourine and started saying things like "mad for it, mad for it." No one's saying any of that. The reason why I'm looking like this now is I was reliably informed that we were about to go to Jack Carlson because he's been outside the Principality Stadium in Cardiff for us, and he was going to interview people as they were leaving. And I don't know what's happened, but I've just had it in my ear that we're not allowed to do that anymore. So this is awkward, isn't it?
See how the BBC weren't able to cut a live stream when it was getting bad? We can do it right.
We could go. We'll cut a live stream whether we mean it or not, mate. Don't worry about that. So now I'm dressed like a plonker, and we're not doing the Oasis segment. So
you can sing it again, though.
No. What I suggest we do is we take this off, right, and we jump my auto cue to the section we were going to do, which is about the French police slashing a migrant boat. So there we go. Right, let's get that to it. There we go. We have got. In fact, you know what? I'll wing it. The French slashing a migrant boat the first time. We're on. Good. And it was a glorious sight to behold. They pulled passengers back to shore just before it launched for Britain. Dozens of people were boarding the dinghy. Shut up, Chris. Dozens of people.
It looks like Oasis have been found.
Oh no! I'm going to get sued by Oasis if I start talking about migrants when I'm wearing their top. Okay.
Well, maybe we should chat about that anyway. This is how it works.
You want me to take over for
You take over. Read that.
Okay. The dinghy when officers rushed in and punctured it with a knife. Guys,
no, you need to move it. You need to move
it. I thought it was automatic.
Would you like to learn to sail?
Use that information to work out our
It's right.
The other way! The other way!
I have actually done this before. Dozens of people were boarding the dinghy.
This is how I learned how to do it.
I thought it was automatic.
It's right.
The other way! The other way!
I have actually done this before. Dozens of people were boarding the dinghy.
This is how I learned how to do it, by the way.
Dozens of people were boarding the dinghy when officers rushed in and punctured it with a knife. The migrants fell into the water and were forced back to land. No injuries were reported.
But they didn't...
Wait. There's a video to be played, I believe.
They didn't look back in anger.
No, the video's not here. Nice.
Sorry.
UK Home Secretary Yvette Cooper called it a welcome move, part of a plan to stop boats before they set off. Some critics warn it's dangerous, are you dressed yet, and could lead to more deaths. Over 20,000 migrants have crossed the channel this year. No, I'm doing all right, actually. 50% rise.
Pat's going to be out of a job at the end of it.
France and the UK
Yes, I am.
are expected to announce tougher joint measures next week.
Who in the audience wants to make a point or ask a question about these migrant boats and the French deciding they were going to slash them? Sir, good for you. Thank you very much. What would you like to say?
Quite a simple question, really. This is...
Who in the audience wants to make a point or ask a question about these migrant boats and the French deciding they were going to slash them? Sir, good for you. Thank you very much. What would you like to say?
Quite a simple question, really. This is really the second boat that's been slashed, because the first one was as a result of Patrick's trip to Calais. I think most people have forgotten that.
Yes.
So now, does that mean we've had two boats slashed and it's cost us something like £500 million?
Wow.
So do we have to pay £250 million to have the third one slashed?
Well, it's an interesting point. I mean, I know that you're joking, but there is a good point to it. And I would, the cynic in me would suggest that maybe we've got a visit by Emmanuel Macron coming quite shortly, haven't we? I wonder whether or not they made a big song and dance over slashing this boat in order to make it seem a bit better. Alex, this is one of your specialist subjects. What do you make of the fact the French have started slashing the boats?
I just don't buy it. Do any of you really buy it that they're going to do this every day? It's theatre, isn't it? It's complete political theatre. I think you've absolutely nailed it, Patrick. Emmanuel Macron's coming over. He doesn't want to protest. He probably wants to come over all glorified. Look, we're stopping this now. Thanks for all that money you gave us years ago. We're actually doing the job you're paying us to do. I think it's a load of nonsense, Pat. Really do.
Are you as cynical as I am, Christo?
I am cynical because I always thought that they hid behind the law that once a boat is in the water, they're not allowed to actually puncture.
Well, they say they've changed it now.
But now they can do that, apparently.
Well, I think
They've
they've changed the law.
I don't believe
so
it.
now we've got to hold them to account. We've seen them what they can do, because I think most ordinary people looking at those police officers on the beach, watching those migrant boats go off right in front of them, and we know as a country we're paying them millions of pounds. Most of us were just like, our jaws were on the floor. You're literally like, what? Common sense completely gone out of the window. So I think actually, I know we want to be cynical, and I know we might think it's about Macron, and I'm sure that's part of it, but I think we should applaud it. This is the first time they've actually done something which all of us can look at and go, yes, common sense. People in a boat, get a knife out, slash it.
But we also
what
shouldn't
was so
glorify
difficult all
one
these
boat
years?
of hundreds of boats that have crossed to the channel. We shouldn't glorify the fact they've done their job once. If I did my job once, I would have been sacked a long time ago. And that's the reality. We shouldn't go, well done, France, you did your job. That's why I dislike. That's why I'm not giving it any credence. It's nonsense.
It's like we've been given a little crumb. It's like they've given us a little...
Well done, Britain. That's one.
Here you go.
50 people. 20,000 more coming.
Yeah, because the other thing is obviously going to be the follow-up. So when I was out there in Calais, what really stood out to me was there was a great big migrant camp, and it's next to the sea. And the French hadn't even bothered to put a fence up. So there's no fence between that camp and where they walk across the field to get on the beach, to get the boats, to come to Britain. And I would have thought that maybe the least they could do was put a fence up. And they didn't do that. So I am very sceptical about this. And the other thing is, what do they do once they've got them off the boat? Do they say, all right, go and have another go tomorrow? Is that what it is? They say, oh, you can just go back in, you know, rest up, better luck next time, chaps. Let's be honest, it is mostly chaps, isn't it? But, Barry, what do you make of it? Because the argument would be that this is in some way a victory for Yvette Cooper. She's got the French to change their law, and now that we've seen them doing something.
Well, it's not a victory until it is a repeated, habitual way of dealing with this. So I understand why you're sceptical. I think I want to be sceptical as well. You know, we didn't call them for 200 years the perfidious French for nothing.
That's a good point.
You know, but actually, I think let's see what happens. They have changed the law. Emily's right, and if we say to Macron when he comes over, oh, well, you've only done it once, that's not going to help the situation. So I think what we've got to say is, look, thanks for doing it, but keep on doing it.
Guys, have we got footage of that? I think it's somewhere in there, isn't it? I don't know if we can maybe bring up the footage of the French actually doing it, because it was quite telling, really, I thought. They actually decided to go and slash the boat, and I think we might be able to show that in a second. But, you know, to our man's point here, you know, this has cost us a huge amount of money. Do we honestly think that the French are going to continue to do this? I'm not sure.
Well, they are under pressure. Can I just say that there was there's a charity there, Project Play, which has basically said it's dangerous to pierce the boats because there might be children in the boats. They're not worried the children are in the boats when they go across the channel. They're worried about them being pierced.
No, but also a child was stamped to death as the boat went into the water by other young male migrants. So
I just want to briefly say there's only one way to stop the boats, and that is to start deportations in this country. Once we start deporting people, they won't keep coming. We need to grow up. We need to get some balls.
OK, can we play that clip of them slashing the boat? Is that possible? We got it? Yeah, there we go. OK, here they go. The French come. So a couple of weeks ago, they were giving them life jackets and pushing them out, and now this time they...
Meet Reggie and Poppy, two Jack Russells. Let's do a little experiment to see if they recognise their tailor-made blends. They know something's not quite right. Now, let's see what happens when we swap them. Our dogs know their food. You see, they're both at different stages of their lives. In fact, Poppy's 8 years older than Reggie. Her tailor-made blend supports joint health, whilst Reggie's is for skin and coat support. So whatever age, breed and lifestyle, we'll tailor their food so they get the right nutrition.
They thought you'd never find out. But now, they've been exposed.
On the front row would like to make a point, sir.
Hello, Patrick. It's Glyn from Portsmouth. Patrick, this is OK. We've seen the French police with knives, but as soon as one of these migrants gets hold of one of these knives, then all of a sudden the whole thing's going to stop, isn't it? Or even if a French policeman cuts himself, there'd be some reason why they can't use a knife to slash these boats.
Good point.
And that's going to happen. A migrant is going to get hold of a knife because, as we know, they're not all innocent people coming over on these boats. No. So one of them's going to get a knife, a policeman's going to get hurt, and that'll be the end of that. And I totally agree with Alex, exactly what he said. You need a deterrent, and that's exactly what the Conservative Party put in, and the Labour Party's first job was to wipe that out. No deterrent, so they're going to keep coming over.
Sir, can I just point out... OK.
Okay, go on. Could I just put... I'll go to you, Barry, but I just want to add something to the knife issue that you raised there, which is that over the course of the last couple of weeks, as people may know if you watch the show fairly regularly, I've been in touch with a few human traffickers and people smugglers, and we have managed to show that some of them are armed with AR-15 semi-automatic rifles, and also that some of them have been putting ISIS propaganda out on their actual pages, which is pretty terrifying. So it's not just the knives, it's also the fact that some of them might be armed, card-carrying Islamists as well. But go on, Barry, to your point, sorry.
Look, I was going to respond to the gentleman's point about the deterrent factor. If you think of the number of migrants that are there and that are trying to come across the channel, and you remember how many Rwanda could have taken, they knew how many Rwanda had been paid to take. What was it, 40 million, 400 million pounds?
It was a lot of money, yeah, it was a lot of money.
To take about 40 migrants.
But there was proof that it was working and it was a deterrent.
No, there wasn't actually, because
there was.
you didn't. Sorry, you didn't send back a single migrant.
It didn't matter. It was already working as a deterrent. They were escaping to Ireland and not coming to Britain.
They were actually increasing the numbers coming across the channel. So you can't say that actually, Emily. But the point is, they knew how many Rwanda was being paid to take, and they knew that they could overwhelm that very easily. So that deterrent factor simply did not.
Very quickly, so we're not going to have time to answer this question, but would you like to just make a point? Go on.
I just wanted to support Barry's argument and, against Emily. Yeah, if 40 people had come across and been deported to Rwanda, where's our deterrent gone? That was a rubbish policy. If you want to do some sort of deterrent, it needs to actually have teeth. And that had no teeth whatsoever.
OK, fair enough. Good point, sir. Thank you very, very much. Right, OK. We've got loads more coming your way. I'm not sure if we're going to make it to the Principality Stadium in Cardiff. I think I'm hearing that we might do so. Jack Carson's alive. Yay, that's good, because it was touch and go there for a while, wasn't it? But anyway, as temperatures start to soar, we've got the coolest cash prize of the summer. Yes, it's 54,321 quid. It's part of the Great British Giveaway. You can be in it to win it.
The Great British Giveaway is now even greater, with your chance to win our biggest cash prize so far. A totally tax-free £54,321 cash could be yours. Cash that you could spend however you like. It's like having an extra £1,000 each week for a whole year to play with. Imagine what you could do with that. Someone is guaranteed to win this amazing amount of cash, so make sure that someone could be you. For another chance to win £54,000